Hello, welcome to this week's rundown of Unearthed Sound's weekly new releases. As usual, I'm Matt. There's no Tom here this week, so regular collaborator Max is here.
Yeah.
And as you'll notice, for the second week running, we've actually got a special guest. It is Andy Odysee. Say hello, Andy.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Yeah, great to have you here, Andy.
Awesome.
Of Odysee Recordings, the one and only.
So, we're going to run down all the new releases in the shop and in the distribution this week as ever. Run through a couple of competitions, but also Andy's going to run through some of his prized possessions, favourite releases, things that mean something to him, and just generally chat about the music that we've got and the things that we're going to go through. So we'll kick it off with an absolute classic, 25-year anniversary edition of OutKast's ATLiens.
Such a great album.
1996 this came out originally, can you believe it?
It's your artwork, though.
Mate, it is absolutely on point. Let's run a tune. Everyone knows
Classic.
this one.
There's a few on this one that are absolute classics, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, as an album, it was their second album,
Yeah.
really pushed them into the kind of limelight. It's so good, just the vibes are so cool on this. This is a really nice package, so it's kind of like a gatefold box set. So it opens up.
4x 12-inch in that one as well.
4x 12-inch, yeah, that is bad, isn't it?
Proper Marvel business.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So it's a 4-piece 12-inch. So the original was a 2-piece with the whole album on. But as a bonus to the 25-year anniversary edition, we've got 2 plates of the instrumental versions, never released before. So that's a cool little add-on. So obviously it's Andre 3000 and Big Boy. All productions mostly by Organised Noise. And yeah, I mean,
Everyone's got a favourite. Mine's Elevators, Me and You. It's just a unbelievable amount of classics on this album.
Yeah.
Look at that as well. So much work
presentation.
into that.
So all printed inners.
Yeah.
All printed inners. So information on every single track. Little storyboard running through the entire narrative of the album. Yeah, really, really nice little package. So yeah, like I said, it's like a 4-piece, but it's a gatefold box set. Kind of real celebration. 25 years, 1996. Yeah, I mean, hip hop heads. You should have this in your collection.
Too right.
Yeah, man, cool. So anyway, we've got a lot to get through as per usual because there's always a ton of releases. So excited that we can move on. Max got his first selection.
So let's go with.
I could just listen to this album all day, though, you know.
Right, let's go with this exciting one that I've just grabbed from the front. It is the latest on Western Law. This is the Law Limited series, so these are the vinyl only bits as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And we want the A side on this one. It's a new artist, someone I'm not familiar with personally, but it's Cozen. That's a good spot, Andy, on the 45.
78, yeah.
Proper old school DMC vibes. This one is a big one. All of the Law Limited stuff's incredible. And they recently just put out a USB with some of the last bit of the series out there.
Yeah.
But this one's still not available digitally, so get moving. And he's done all of his standard trading cards and all his extra bits on his Bandcamp, which are lovely, but such a big label, this one.
Yeah, I mean, I've always really liked the kind of like punch drunk sort of sample approach to the releases, or like particularly with the early Dead Man's Chest stuff, and this is kind of like resonant throughout the releases and throughout the catalogue. And yeah, I mean, this has encapsulated it perfectly.
Exactly.
Well into this one. What are you saying, Andy?
I really love their logo. Is the first thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for good logos, ones that are instantly recognisable.
Yeah.
And strong brand identity is important, particularly when you're building sort of like a massive sort of like gradual portfolio and repertoire of, you know, music over time. It's important that your stuff looks the same, but then there's stuff that you can do with it, like tweak the colours or
when you see his collection all together, it just looks incredible. And all of the little extras that he's been doing, the prints, he's got a trading card, so it's almost like a top trumps for each release. It's
like basic.
The little rave stabs. Love those.
But that's what I mean. When I heard this, I thought it was Dead Man's Chest, but it's this guy Cozen who nailing this production.
Straight out of the Dyson Ace and stuff.
Exactly.
Production house. And
So you were talking about the visual aspect. So with the main series of the Western Law stuff, he provides a risograph as a special edition bundle through like his Bandcamp, and the illustrations are actually drawn by him. They're hand drawn. So you've got like old sort of like dreamscape-esque inspired kind of drawings and that, and they are really, really well detailed and they're really, really well done.
Talented guy.
Multi-
Very
It
talented
really
guy.
is.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the latest in the Western Law Limited series. What was it, number 6?
This is Law Limited 6, yeah. Big
Okay.
up, Alex.
Cool. Buzzing. Well, that is quite a way to kick things off. OutKast, Western Law.
Yeah.
So, Andy, what are you saying, man?
can I start with a book?
You're going to
Can I
start
do
with a
that?
book? Yeah,
I'm gonna go for a
sure.
book.
All right, cool.
I'm a sucker for a bit of musical history. I've been really enjoying the Velocity Press stuff. Really excellent. This is from Stranger Tractor Press, and this is Bass, Mids and Tops, an oral history of sound system culture. But I think it goes right through, doesn't it? It's like dub, and reggae, jazz, funk. And
so it's actually a collection of interviews from Joe
right.
Muggs. So he goes through various producers and artists and DJs from over the years. I mean, you've got a little list somewhere in
Like,
really
just
big
just
names
flicking
on there.
through big names. I mean, you've got Norman J, NBA, to kick things off. Adrian Sherwood. I was particularly interested in the little bit in the middle where we move on to people like Nicolette, easy, Digo, DJ Storm.
Yeah.
Big up Jay. Huge supporter of Odysee back in the day. Jane was. Yeah, both Kemi and Jane.
Nice.
And who else we got? We've got Jack Frost. Big up Jumping Jack Frost. Dick Crust. Noodles. Just the list goes on. Zed Bias.
Yeah.
Real quality garage guy. Yeah.
Great
So-
read.
Yeah, it is a really good read. I've read through it myself. Also goes into the kind of the development of dubstep as well. So there's interviews with Scream, Chrome Star, shout out Ricky, Mala's in there as well. There's loads of excellent interviews. They go into real good depth. They're not just standard kind of like magazine or online interviews. There's a lot of depth in there where they talk about like musical roots, a lot about the culture behind it. It's it really is a great read. So, Joe Muggs is actually a really, really good interviewer. He's a really good writer. So as a collection and as a book, it's really, really good, really interesting. Definitely recommend anybody who's into this kind of sound, whether that's dub, reggae, drum and bass, house, techno, anything like that. This will give you something, and there's something for you to really get your teeth
particularly
into.
if you're that little bit younger and you're coming to sort of like music that's kind of almost ready made. And there's only so much that you can get, from things that are online. Actually, a book where they've gone straight to the source, people who have been around for a while, you get that kind of knowledge. I mean, I had the same with stuff that I was just too young to know about, things like particularly disco. There's an amazing book called Love Will Save the Day. I think it's Tim Lawrence.
Right.
It just opened my eyes to things I just never knew about disco. And of course, as a house producer back in the day, not knowing about disco was kind of like a hole in the education. So
massively.
This kind of thing is just absolutely invaluable knowledge-wise.
If you check out our shop at the moment as well, we've got loads of different books on production, producers, interviews with these guys, and it's all just really good reads and really, if you're into the scene, top
we've
reads.
featured some pretty cool books lately as well. Go check them out. There's a depth of knowledge in amongst all of that. So we'll jump back into a little bit of music. This week, the Lobster White series,
keeping the jungle tip up
back. Tim Reaper, so 4-track EP. I think we're going to go with actually the remix, which is on the A2, which is Coco Bryce remix of Give It To Me.
Coco Bryce doing what he does as always. Tim Reaper as well. Both of them just creating this really sort of intelligent future jungle sound. It's lovely stuff always.
Just the way those breaks feel, I mean, it's just wonderful. No doubt.
Artwork as well. All these lobster theremin cartoons and things like that. It's just they fit with the aesthetic so well. You look at that immediately and you just know it's a lobster release. Really nice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get down to this. It's such a good tune. Remixes, great. I mean, the original's brilliant as well. If you check that one out,
you get a Coco Bryce remix on the remix duties. You know it's going to be a great EP. It's always the way. It's just a nice little Coco Bryce twist or something. Tim Reaper is always smashing it. He's been doing his stuff on, is it Future Retro?
Yep.
Yeah, which is a really good label as well. Yeah, that's Tim Reaper's label. And obviously Coco Bryce has been getting some of his Maya stuff, and he's all over the moment. Absolutely everywhere.
So good. Cool. Right, let's get a move on. See what else we've got. What you got, Max? What you saying?
Right, so we'll go in now. Slightly different tip, and I know which is my favourite off the EP already because I've been having to listen to this one. So this is the latest on Hot House Racks, which is part of the Check the Label series, and that's DJ House's.
So that'll be Unknown to the Unknown dance tracks.
That's it. We want the A2 on this one because it's the remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's M4A2, is it? The remix. Who's on the remix? And it's sort of a housey, garagey tip, that crossover.
Yeah, it's got that real jacking vibe, hasn't it?
Really big release. Yeah. The whole EP is great, but this remix in particular, Wave Particle Singularity. Not a person that I was familiar with, but now I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye out.
If Rupert signed it and put it out, I mean, let's not be wrong about it. A man with the work rate of Rupert, second to none. The guy's just continuously putting amazing quality music out across all of the labels that he's working on. He's got other things in the pipeline at the moment.
We were talking about it the other day. He's got to be on his way to a world record or something for the amount of labels and releases one man can be in charge of. It's just unbelievable.
But it's not like it's just putting stuff out for the sake of it. Every single time it's just like of peak quality. It's so good.
People know some of these staples like dance tracks and things like that. Some of the releases that are coming out on these labels are just timeless music. Some of this stuff as well now, we've been going back through the catalogue and listening to stuff that came out years and years ago, and they are still so fresh and so relevant today.
It's like that Inner Shades release that came out in 2015. It's like last year Ricardo Villalobos played it, and it's like people thought it was a brand new tune. It's been out for ages. I mean, sometimes it's way ahead of its time and things take a little while to kind of get picked up on, but you just look at like what kind of moves out of the warehouse, and on a monthly basis there's just so much of the different varying pockets of the back cat through the different labels. So I mean, fair play to him. It's all very high quality, and this matches up perfectly. Very good, very good. Wow. Okay, cool. So we really have started strong this week. Do you want to show us one of your specials?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just pull this little guy out. So, this is actually from a label that I used to co-run with some guys in London called Quato.
Okay.
And it was kind of like deep house, broken beat kind of style.
Yeah.
There's a main 4-floor version of the tune. There's a broken beat version, which I think is the one I'm going to play, and then there's like a third track.
Nice.
What's particularly special about this tune is actually the lovely young lady who sung it, Deborah Clark, whose voice is just knockout.
Yeah.
She's going to come back in the studio and re-vocal this tune at D&B tempo. So this tune will be coming on Odysee a little bit further down the line.
Oh, wow.
And we've got enough copies of this that we can sort of give this away with it as a bundle.
A little treat when people buy the new records.
It'd be like, here's the Odysee thing, and by the way, we've got enough copies to just give you one of the originals if you think. So
treat.
This is a little tune called Before I Can Love Again. It's Quato 3.
Nice bit of artwork as well on the sleeve.
Yeah, very Hoxton.
Yeah.
They've been in storage, but it's not wobbling too much, so it's all good.
Always a danger, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like very naked music.
Yeah.
And kind of like Andy Caldwell styles going on there. A bit of Shouldn't a Day as well. And then the 4 floors are a bit tougher.
Those drums are lovely in that there.
Yeah.
And we used to perform this live as a sort of like a 9-piece band as well. So we played at Cargo, we played at Ministry of Sound in the Baby Box. nice.
Really?
I bet this is one that would sound very nice. Like you can all the elements almost sound
open
like
a nice sunny day.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Sunday Soul Sonics, we used to play that.
Vocals are lovely as well. Be interesting to hear that on
Her voice is possibly one of the best voices I've ever worked with. I mean,
Sounds lovely. I mean, it will sound excellent on D&B.
You can imagine, you can picture it. Yeah.
This actually sounds real current now. I mean, it kind of runs alongside the kind of vein of things that are current and popular now. So probably a really good time to sort of bring that out and then work on it again. Good spot.
I'm going to put a few copies of this in the shop, so if people want it, it's totally available.
Yeah.
And we won't even charge you much money for it either, because I've got that many. So, it's all good.
Perfect.
Fair play. Well, if you want to check out the whole EP, it'll be up on the site very, very soon. Go hunt it out.
That is a lovely track though. It's really nice. Yeah, really enjoy it.
Summer vibes.
Yeah, it really is.
Definitely. Just as the heat waves come back in as well. Perfect.
Lovely. A bit misty-eyed.
That's it.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, nice one
mate.
for bringing those in, mate.
No worries, man. Got more where that came from.
What are we on to next?
Right, let's have a look what we've got here. Sub-merchants. So, Sub-merchants. Max, if you want to tell us a little bit about these guys. We're just going to put on the A2, which is by Hella and Logan. It's called Chattings. I'll just make sure that is the A side. Sometimes the labels are the wrong way around, as you probably noticed from some of the streams we've done before. But yeah.
So we've seen these guys' names pop up a lot recently. I'm trying to think of some of the other labels they've been on recently, but it's all that sort of fits in that sound of sort of article music and around that sort of a lot more like
it's in that 140 sort of melting pot, isn't it? It kind of takes inspiration from grime, dubstep. There's all sorts of kind of elements in there that make a lot of sense at that kind of tempo. We did have the Sub-merchants guys down for a stream.
That was it.
Which is up on the YouTube now, youtube.com/unearthsounds. So go check that out. Some absolute vibes on there.
The vocalist on this one, Logan, it's a voice that you immediately recognise. He's been on some bits we've had recently as well, but anytime I hear Logan on a 140 tune, it just elevates it for me a little bit. It makes it a little bit more, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to think of, but he's almost got some sort of ragga influence to his vocals. It's just
it just adds a level of height to the tune. Exactly. It just takes it up another level, doesn't it? I mean, the tune's solid. This tune specifically is solid. Could vibe on its own, but it just adds that little bit of elevation to it and something a little bit different. Also on this EP, you'll notice if you check it out, is regulars to kind of our staple of labels here: Distinct Motive and Fearless Dread, released on the likes of Plant Power, Navy Cut, various other.
It's all names that you'll see coming through. If you search these guys on our site, you'll probably see 3 or 4 releases just sat around that are lots of different bits. Really nice 140.
Obviously, we know you predominantly as a D&B man, Mr. Odysee. How do you feel about this sort of tempo?
I mean, over the years I've been into loads of different kinds of music. So, like, I came into dance music before D&B existed. So I came into it with actually, I mean, like mid-80s breakdance and soul is my first experience of dance music. So I've got no problems with any of the tempos at all. Of course. I really quite like this stuff actually. I'm not adverse to a little bit of drill actually. Although
some excellent
sometimes I don't love what they're talking about. But musically and sort of like the moodiness of it, the ominous note,
the energy that the tracks bring. It might not always relate to a lot of lyrics on some of these drill traps and things like that.
It's not my life, but
the tracks, you can still love this sort of thing. And 140 dubstep and these sort of, these guys like Rico Dan and Killer P and all these guys that you're seeing on all these tracks, they've just got such a strong vocal that it's unmistakable. You're going to hear it every time and you know what it is.
And it's only a stone's throw away from some of the darker garage I used to play.
Exactly. Anyway. Well, that whole sort of garage revival into dubstep has sort of been doing the rounds. That dark side garage, we've been talking about it a lot with SB's new label and things like that. There's such a crossover between dubstep and garage at the moment. But
anyway, we could tune that one. What we got up next?
What are we going for next? Okay, so let's go some in from the distro. I think we might as well. seeing as the man's here himself, I think.
Oh,
we should
hello,
move
what's
on.
that?
Oh, hello.
I haven't got one of these yet.
The latest one on Odyssey Records.
I've got a test press.
Yours truly. Yeah, it's another absolute powerhouse of a D&B record. Really nice artwork, really nice series, as we were talking about earlier. That sort of consistency throughout the label, spot on with Odyssey recordings. And I think we should just go straight in with the A1 because I absolutely love
That's
it.
45.
Definitely.
So 45 A side and then 2 cuts on the B, which are 33.
Should we just drop it in sort of around here?
Tell us a little bit about the release and the tracks on there.
Well, I mean, Odyssey's doing 2 things at the moment. Obviously, it's sort of like revisiting some of the, cherry picking some of the older tunes for the remixing. I kind of got the ball rolling, but I'm starting to pull outside artists into Homemade Weapons, obviously. To
Some of the remixes you had
Feel
on.
My Dreams.
Brilliant.
We've got Gremlins currently working on a remix of Photech Phase 1. He's literally on it at the moment.
Right now.
We've got Mr. Shifter. He's going to be delivering a remix of Future London. And a little further down the line, if he still wants to do it, Fanu is going to be remixing Stars.
We just had a straight up breakbeat release from Fanu.
We have, haven't we? Yes.
Very talented.
Oh,
man.
very, especially his drum work's lovely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely lovely. But yeah, this release in particular, I'm pretty certain you may have played this track to me a little while ago in the car at one point.
So this is the new stuff. What we're trying to do is kind of like pick up the gauntlet from where sort of like Odyssey and obviously the associated Source Direct and Photech. So it's never going to depart too far away from that style. For me, when I produce, I suppose the biggest influence is the Hokusai stuff. So you'll hear that film noir, dark jazz, avant-garde thing. But obviously, I'm not the only person that's involved in Odyssey. So obviously, Tiller and Graham, whose tracks are on the way, they're going to come from a different angle. It'll be interesting to hear New Mirage, mate. Trust me.
This is something that we've really liked with the Odyssey imprint. Is that you're bringing back these classic numbers that obviously these people are going to be dying to have more copies of and getting. But you're not just giving them a repress of a 90s hit. You're giving them something fresh, a remix, some of your new bits in there. It's a nice combination of everything to keep the Odyssey where it stays true to, which is the the Source Direct Photech, but also fresh and 2021. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
wicked.
Yeah, man.
Love that. So, in tradition of the weekly review rundown video, Andy, would you be so kind as to sign a copy of this?
Yeah, certainly.
Lovely. So, what we're going to do, as usual, anyone who's watched these before, I guess maybe on the front there. So we're going to put all of the releases that are in here that we run through this week into a bundle. If you buy 2 or more, you'll get 10% off, and anybody who buys one of those bundles will be automatically entered into a draw, and we'll pull out of a hat ready for next week's video the winner of this delicious new Odyssey recordings by Andy Odyssey himself, ODYR012. And on that note, we'll just let this run a little bit longer. Last week you'll notice we had Mark N-Type here. You missed it, didn't you?
I missed it. I'm devastated. I always miss out when Mark's in. It's always a good
shame, but last week there was a brand new Chad Dubs release on Will and Deal, which Mark very kindly signed for us, and we do have a winner, Mr. William Harrison, who got one of the bundles last week. Fair play, William.
Big up.
Tom has been in touch already, so hopefully you've got his email. If not, if you catch this first, give us a shout and we will get this delightful little number off to you in the post. Alright? So, moving on.
So,
beautiful. Right. What do we have next? You can pop that one away. We will go with
keeping up on this. We've got a lot of jungle this week.
We have, yeah. That's, you know what? Let's hold that for a second.
Well, because this one's actually out on pre-sale this week, so this one's not released just yet. This is a little sneak.
This is an older copy anyway.
Exactly. But we spoke about, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about some of these regraded represses that have been coming out. We had the Elvin T one.
Yeah, that was of more modern times. This one has been a good few years in the waiting.
Probably the most sought after repress for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you will recognise this record when we pop it on, but just a bit of a big one, this.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what you make of this, Andy. Absolutely killer. It's so in demand. It was like anthem of the summer, and then you just can't help but just like
the build up just keeps going and going. You're waiting for that little bass line to come in over the top of that really nice sort of like, yeah, mate. It's just a tune, and the track, and then those vocals come in the second breakdown. Just get shivers down the back of your neck. It is.
So for you who don't know, this is Midland on his regraded label. The track's called Final Credits, and yeah, I mean, what else can you say about it?
Let's get it into that little breakdown in the middle, mate.
Yeah,
I used to play like
it's such a long track.
Stuff like that all day, every day.
The vocal, wonderful stuff.
Oh mate, yeah. Been waiting for this for a long time.
Oof, just can't help but put a smile on your face.
Witness. Lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, that is beer garden sets or
once again, it's
work in any environment.
Exactly. Regraded, integrated, graded. So much big music coming out from these multi labels under one bracket. Midland, absolute don of production. Just what more can you say? He did his London. He did one in a museum recently, a set for fabric or something like that. Did you see that? That was unbelievable as well. Yeah, just all over the place. When you get a chance to get one of these, pick it up. Yeah.
It's been in demand for a long time. I mean, a lot of copies of this in circulation.
So yeah, going live on Friday for pre-sale, and then I believe it'll just be a couple of weeks after that, the release. But you know, we've got available on the store. Get on it quick.
So I'll tell you what we won't do. We won't put this in the bundle this week because it's not actually available to pre-order until Friday. We'll add it to next week's bundle because it's a little bit premature to do that.
That's right.
All right. But yeah, anyway, absolute belter. Have you got anything next lined up, Mr. Max?
Yes, let's go in.
That's stunning. That is.
Yeah,
so good.
It's lovely, isn't it? You know, immediately.
That's my copy.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Right, so this one is one of my favourite artists. I've actually worked with the guy a couple of times. He's from Japan. He's called Stones Taro.
Yeah,
and this is on
Taro.
Yeah, this is on Breaks and Pieces. I'm going to actually play one of their jungle tunes on the other side. He's just got such a great understanding of UK bass music for someone from halfway across the world. And it's just, Stones Taro, his drum works, synth, the bass lines. He's recently had stuff out on Time Is Now, Lost City Archives, all kinds of bits that just sit really nicely in this UK bass, garage, jungle. So clean. Yeah.
So yeah, from my perspective, I wouldn't know Stones Taro for this kind of sound, but clearly has a solid understanding of the production, the history of it, just to be able to put this together in such a way that sounds so clean, so crisp, and it also sounds experienced as well to me.
Yeah. Well, I hit him up for some tunes, and he sent through about 15, and I happily had all of them.
Yeah.
He's just got something about his production, and he just nails it on the head every time what he's doing. That Hours tune he did with El Murphy recently, that's up there potentially one of the tracks of the year for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's not even a million miles away from some of the early Photo Source Direct on Basement and
exactly.
Like on Secrets and Street Beats and stuff like that. And that's really excellent.
Yeah, if you don't know Stones Taro, get to know, and Breaks and Pieces as well. The little artwork they've got on the other side, it's these white labels with these little cartoons. I think it's Pointless James Illustration who's doing these.
Is it? Okay.
He's everywhere. If you're doing garage, bass or jungle, Pointless James is probably doing the artwork for your release, and there's a reason why. It's just incredible.
Always looks absolutely sick. So, is this all jungle this release?
No, you've got 2 more break beats on the other side. We could get one of those.
Check one out.
Yeah,
one of those?
Yeah, cool. Okay, so
that's nicely done, though,
for the
that.
camera crew, look up close. You've got lovely little illustration right there.
Little bit of Pokemon knowledge. That's Pseudo Wudo, the Pokemon. I know that from my days of the Game Boys. That is, it's just his artwork, the breaks and pieces stuff. We've had a Harrison BDP one. This is much more his style. Those sort of high-pitched vocals over the top.
Yeah, so this is what I would associate Stone's Taro with.
That funky drummer break. But with the reverse, like the snares just kilted back. Like, literally. That's nice.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Really is.
Nice.
And he's doing a lot at the moment. But keep an eye on that Breaks and Pieces label. One of my favourites particularly. Some of the stuff coming out on that just sits so nicely in that hardcore continuum. Spot on stuff.
Top stuff. Well, anyway, we shouldn't give too many two-track runs because that's not fair on the rest, is it?
Cricket. It's not cricket, is it?
Did you have anything from your collection you wanted to go through or show us at all?
Do you want to do the distro shop bits first?
Why not? Let's crack on with the latest bit. That's the latest Kemet release. Yes.
What do you want to play off this? We've got Roll Thunder, No Retreat, Wicked Jungle, All Be Free.
Wicked Jungle.
Wicked Jungle. The name says it all.
There we go.
Right,
yeah.
On this. Should be 78. Sorry.
There we go.
Wicked, man.
Yeah. But Kemet stuff, just so much of that ragga influenced jungle, but sort of scatters across. You've got some of the classics on there. It's just a very recognisable centre label. When I see a Kemet bit, you know it's a Kemet bit. It's big shouts to Mark, really nice guy, and it churns out a lot of releases. We get quite a lot through. Every time we get a Kemet drop, it's usually 3 or 4 releases at a time.
Yeah, presses up quite a few at times. Got some absolute classics like Screwface excerpts.
The box,
yeah. Right, and there's some serious bits coming. There's some other sub-labels as well, like Redskins.
Yes.
2WA. No,
third party. Yeah. So we've got a few imprints from the Kemet music sort of group.
Yeah, Mark, another one with a big workforce. Like Raid, sorry.
His workforce.
Not Jack. Sorry, Jack.
But yeah, classic Ragga jungle. Yeah, a lot of recognisable samples into these things, but cut up really nice and fresh. Just what you want on a nice Ragga jungle release. Spot on.
Awesome. Okay, so move swiftly on.
I've got another couple here.
The number.
Keeping on that tip.
Yeah.
We've got the Ragga style still. This is another one from our mates at Liondub International. So this is more the D&B side of things, but I think we're on a single track. Yeah,
we are.
Lovely.
It's 2-track, remember? Not 4.
Oh yeah, of course. Let's get it right. Yeah. It'll have the more mid-range bass lines in these tunes because they do stick to that sort of more heavy D&B sound, but it's got recognisable to the sort of jungle reference and a lot of Ragga reference as well. It's, Liondub, every time Liondub puts a release out, it's an absolute sound system.
It's just a slightly modern take on it, so obviously they're doing more of the kind of like mid-range kind of steppy kind of things as their digital catalogue, but this is more suited to vinyl. You've got the reference to jungle, kind of still relative to people that are likely to mix vinyl. I mean, that works as a vinyl release. It's got the modern sound, but also not to the past as well.
So yeah, this one's Analysis Rise, and it's the 5th one in our little white label series we've had from them. So LD 1201 all the way through to 5. So this is LD 1205.
Yeah.
2-tracker on this one, but this series has just been absolutely smashing it. Put 5 of these out and they're all doing great, so it's another really nice lined up bit.
So I've seen it.
Carry on.
Watching the videos.
Yeah.
I've seen you feature a fair few bits from these guys.
They've once again churning out the numbers again. It's nice to see some of these labels really pushing it. Digital catalogue for these guys is absolutely massive as well, so there's obviously a lot to choose from for the vinyl, which is brilliant. So you
That's
get
a nice mix of old and new as well.
Exactly.
I like people who get that space right. They manage to reference enough of the past without actually like recreating it and just doing a pastiche. You know.
Yeah. So solid stuff. 5 releases in like what 2-3 months.
That was when they got put through. It was immediately like, right, let's get all of these out now.
Absolutely needed as well. Cool. So moving on, one of my favourite little labels. I'm dealing with that one. Bristol. Okay, so what we're going to go with, I think,
is anything
the B1. Anything. I mean, as usual, it's just absolutely sick. It's 45. I got pre-warned on this one. So usually real chugging, doped out R&B edits on the most part, but this. It's got a little bit more of a breakbeat vibe to it.
This label just surprises me with every release. They think they're going in one direction, and you know the mixes they've been doing some mixes with Wolfie D of Vitamin D Garage Records, but they're
that was that Summertime Vibes thing that they did on Bandcamp, wasn't it?
Loads of old R&B cuts. The samples you could expect to hear anyone from the charts on a Ghost Phone record like sample. It's quite a mismatch of a mixed bag of samples that come into these tunes.
So the keen-eared of you will notice that this track features Scissor or SZA. I still don't know how to Scissor. We're going for Scissor. Also there's Bryson Tiller on there and Georgia Smith. It's a 4-track EP. Super hot, always sell really quickly these things, so probably grab them if you're into that sound, like the kind of R&B vocals. It's really good.
I draw for one of these in most sets, and you're gonna get a crowd going because there's so much recognisable stuff on it in a different way. It's artwork on these is brilliant. The aesthetic of the label looks really cool. It's something that you can see doing quite well over time. This is building up there on. So this is the 5th release. Is that right? Ghost Phone 5?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And they're already really picking up some tread and getting some cool names and cool tracks on there.
I mean, as far as I can tell, it's buy on site label.
That's on our shop, the unearthedsounds.co.uk shop. All of these bits that are just shop only stuff will be up there, but not for very long. Not for very long at all.
Cool. Grab that while it's hot.
And then
I will be having that one.
we have I'm covered in stickers now. So this is our first release with this label. Big shout to Clemens, really nice guy and really cool aesthetic for a label. It's called Urban Poetry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's sort of a D&B, but you've got some more sort of bassy, almost even footworky stuff in there. It's really nice music, but let's just get straight in on the A2 because I really like that. Yeah.
So clearly taking influence from the autonomic kind of vibe in that era, I'd say.
Yeah, really nice full artwork sleeve. Yeah.
It's lovely.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. They've actually got a name on there I'm familiar with as well, Kodama.
Yeah.
He's recently had some more sort of 140 stuff. He's got remix duties on a B2 with Taro. And they've got 3 remixes on here, but it's 2 tunes and then 2 remixes of one of those tunes. So it's really nice, this stuff. But yeah, very atmospheric, lot of space. Yeah. Clemens is based in Germany, I believe, as well. Yeah. But it's the first time I've dealt with him. We've got a really nice note in the post of all of the records that came. Just a really friendly guy. Got a really good label idea. Looks like this one could do really well. Hopefully we've got plenty more coming from them. Yeah.
Loads of atmosphere.
Oh yeah. It's a bit cinematic.
A bit more time, we could run through a lot more, but I'm conscious we've still got plenty to get through.
Yeah.
Have a go?
Yeah. Alaska and Synchro.
the name alone says it
on
all.
Arctic music.
We've been chatting with Dev a lot recently, and he's been giving us some ideas. He's very, very much keen on getting involved with this series as well.
Right,
really,
which one are we going to go for?
Either. They're both great.
Well, big up your chest, Dev.
Yeah.
Let's go with a synchro remix, shall we?
Why not?
Right, we're on 45, are we?
Yeah, definitely.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, bit different to the sort of standard Arctic music stuff with the Synchro remix. Synchro's label is incredible. The music production from Synchro is always just so clean and nice. You can tell again with this one. But on the B-side of a really nice banging jungle sort of D&B vibe.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a diversion from what you'd expect with the Alaska sound.
It works well.
What Dev Paradox would usually do, but this really does lend itself beautifully to the release. I was so impressed when Dev sent this over the first time. Just listened to it so many times since. It's just so nice.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love that. I love that marble sleeve as well.
That's it.
There's one less now, by the way. This one's mine. You can charge it to my account, mate. It's going straight in that box.
Oh no, that's it. Definitely up there. Potential pick of the week.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, dreamy stuff, but we'll just really quickly skim the other side as well.
Yeah,
because you've got to kind of give the full depth of the sound.
That's that classic sound. Yeah, lots of stuff from Dev. You know, on the Paradox music stuff, got the Arctic music stuff.
Severin Paradox label.
That's
killing it. S&P.
There's just so much music from that side of it, and it's always just the cleanest drums every time.
It's not his only specialty, but it is a massive specialty. The drum work. So I mean, and he's been that good. Well, both of them have, Sever and Paradox have both been that good for that long as well. Consistently. I did see a post from Dev a little while back, and it was like he's 100 and something. You're just he's been on. He's not been on Odysee yet. But he damn well ought to be shortly.
And he recently did a sort of 140 breaks bit on the Sneaker Social Club. Yeah. That was really good. Incredible. Anything he puts his hand to, just top work.
Yeah, I think he's doing some more of that kind of like 140, 130 area stuff, because obviously his sound lends itself so well to that tempo. It just gives him a bit more space to work with, and it just sounds so good. Cool. Okay, that's another one we've doubled up on, so we'd better move on. I'll have that one back, please. No, there you go.
Fat chance.
Are you done?
Yeah, we've gotten through all the distribution
so that's the new releases
stuff.
bit. So, come on, Andy, show us what you got.
What
you got?
Right, okay.
Exciting bits.
Yeah.
So,
looking forward to this.
I got told about this yesterday. You guys knew I was coming up, and he said, "Oh, bring some tunes." I was like, "Well, how do you mean?" You're like, "Well, special tunes, ones that sort of like mean a lot to you." So I'm probably not going to play all of these, but I'm going to start with this. Now, these are all extraordinarily special records to me as a collector. This track is one of the first ever house tunes I ever heard. And I heard it way back when Pete Tong was on Capital, before Capital was even a national station. And this is Brownstone Express, $1.15 on New Groove from 1990. I believe it was early in the year, because it was before the sort of like the bleep and bass explosion, before I really caught onto that. It is just, if you like Mr. Fingers and stuff like that, it is just of that era, and you can tell it's very, very well loved, this record. It's been played a fair few times, but that just absolutely
totally get that Mr. Fingers reference. Beautifully done.
I paid a pretty penny for this. Yeah, but it was one of those ones I was just too young to know where the hell to get records at this stage. So I heard it, I was like, good lord, I wish I had that record. And I wanted it for years and years and years and years. And then, as an adult, and when the internet really sort of like enabled you to go and hunt for things and buy them, I got it. And like literally a few of these tunes that I bought that I'd wanted for 20 years, I'm a bloke, so I couldn't have actually cried, but I nearly cried when I put them on the turntable, because they'd been missing from my collection for that long.
It can do that to you, though.
It can do that.
Gives you emotion, man.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Takes me back to an era that's never going to be relived, so it's got
Huge track title as well, $1.50.
$1.50. Brownstone Express, $1.15 is what it used to be to ride the subway.
Right.
That's the reference. So Brownstone Express is, the subway ride.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
something new every day.
That's lovely though. Really nice track. I just spotted the centre label on that next one as well. Nice.
That isn't
And it's not going to be the next one. He's not going to play that for you now.
I'm not.
Oh, it's actually not. I was joking.
Because, chronologically, it wouldn't be right to play that. I'm going to go for, next up, I'm going to go for, it's really tricky. Right, okay. This, again, one of my first ever experiences of really good underground, I suppose, bleeps and breaks.
Yeah.
Heard it on a pirate radio station. I think it was Fantasy FM. It was like the first one in the mix, and I've now tracked down every tune that was on that mix. But again, took me many years to do it. So this is Psychotropics, Only for the Headstrong, on raw bass. Just anyone who's into that kind of like Renegade Soundwave, Exorcist, Scientist, all that stuff, Shades of Rhythm, will absolutely love this. Huge Hot Pants record, like wicked. The stabs are what do it for me. That arc kick, garage before it was garage,
It fits very well with the sort of flavour at the moment, which is that sort of that breaks, rave, all of that. This is quality.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a kind of like some sort of Luke era kind of vibe to it as well, hasn't it? Like that far out track, a bit slowed down, a bit different, like pre that, but it's, you can see that that's what's in
You can hear in that as well. You can play that a lot faster and it would still sound absolutely wicked.
Spawning new genres, like we were talking about earlier before the video started.
Yeah,
I love that record. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Rightly so.
Moving on.
Man. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, nice one for bringing those in, mate.
You alright?
Yes, mate, you're right.
How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, we're just doing the video, the weekly releases.
Right, next one. It's so difficult, but I sort of should move chronologically. Again, just this was not the biggest MIDI rain record. I think probably Crack Train was the biggest one. Well, I feel like it was the biggest one. But this has got the Bizarre Inc. Remix on it. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, this label for me back in the day, Violent Pollution, was buy on site. I've had loads of their stuff. D-Zone was another label. I'm going to play the Depth Charge mix of this. Eyes. It's just a classic crossover of all the elements when rave was, 1992, when rave was at its height. So you've got the bits that are sort of like really housey, the bits that are really Belgium, sort of like Beltram-y techno bits, and then you'll break out the bleeps and sort of like, just like the euphoric. But this one particularly, I think it was on one of the Yaman mixes, and I played that, on a particular holiday. Again, we're talking about the power of music,
Nostalgia,
to have
yeah.
nostalgia. This one
transports
takes
back to
me
time and
straight
space, doesn't
back,
it?
dewy-eyed. It's that Blake.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like listening to early RNS records.
Yeah, it totally is like listening to that, but it's just when the pad and the bleat come for me that just gets you in the feels. It's this bit.
Nice.
Gorgeous, and then the bleeps comes out and then the vocal comes out and you're just like, good lord, man, I want to be in a warehouse with my hands That's one of my favourite records of all time, man. It just captures the era.
Yeah, I can see why you set the transport from one space and time back into an era. It's so cool. It's so good. But yeah, get the Belgian vibes, get the references. I need to give that one some more time.
That's all you need to hear of that to get the gist. All right, then I'll do it for you.
They're doing it nice and right.
For those of you who don't know, where have you been? But no. So which one do I want to play? Yeah, I've got to play this one. Am I? Like this was a tune that like literally just I used to. This never, as you can tell, it's been battered. Yeah. Never left my record box for about like 15 years. And we never used to mix it. We just cut it straight in, just like in the middle of the mix.
So good.
24 hours experience.
This stuff, the Grant Nelson releases, all of this, so up my street. And it's all funny enough because this is all a bit before me, to be honest. But it's just,
yeah, garage glory days. I used to play this track with Tiller, the guy who started Odysee, and his cousin Kev. We all used to drop this tune at the warehouse in Edmonton. That was happy days, man. Happy days.
This is my favourite you've brought in so far, definitely.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, we've had some absolute classics, of course, and a bit of a history lesson from Andy, but I mean, this works so well, like with the current vibes as well, the garage revival, but like the house stuff at the moment is really drawing influence on this.
That's it.
Such a recognisable vocal, of course.
Yeah.
So, battered.
Yeah, that one's been played out a little bit.
Massively. I think we've got time for one more.
Okay.
So that's going to make it even harder for you, Andy. I'm really sorry.
What's your favourite?
I mean, I'm not going to play any Dibby because I could do
fair
that any
enough.
time.
We do that all the time.
I've got to choose between these two. Now, I mean, I reference Naked Music in terms of, and like, you know, I think many people will know about Naked Music because it's such a powerhouse of you know, juicy deep house and vocal broken beat. But actually, I'm just going to go a little bit left to centre then because that's an easier find. I'm going to go for this, which is a Schindler Day. Again, this huge memories. Charles Webster's remix of Sakuba Bambina Decourage. Again, right, I just need to make sure I get the right one. Yeah, it's here. Again,
easily done. When
mate,
you're
this has just been battered to within an inch of its life. But it's the way he hides the vocal.
The grooves, Andy, where are they? Oh yes.
I mean, this just like slinky, soulful, tribal,
sultry,
slight
really
world
nice,
music element, and it just like the vocal. You think like it's got
a real Balearic kind of vibe to it, and
it's the percussion as well.
It's I mean, it's very similar to that Fish Go Deep, Cure and Cause, but this is way earlier.
Yeah. So when was this originally released?
Oh God, now you put me on the spot. Out 26th of September 2005.
You can remember the day.
No, this is it's here where the full vocal comes.
I love it.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, really well music vibes. That's really nice. Almost sort of to bring it back into modern day. Almost on a sort of Peggy Goo sort of like tipping that first bit of the track. Yeah,
I get you.
The drum work and everything sort of got that. Yeah, really nice percussion on it. Yeah.
So let this one play. Just round things off again. So we've got the winner for the Chad Dubs EP on Wheel and Deal last week, which was William Harrison. If you didn't catch that, Andy, thank you so much for bringing this in.
Yeah, man, a pleasure. I mean, like,
very interesting.
No worries. And of course, I believe whoever wins the competition this week,
is going to get a signed copy.
For the love of music, all the best, Andy Odysee. I thought that was the right thing to say, and I'll chuck that in as well. Before I can love again.
There we go. Even bigger bundle.
So it's a double bundle.
He's a proper champ.
Come on then. Yeah, lovely. Well, also out this week anyway on Friday is Odysee 12 by Andy Odysee himself. Go grab it, out Friday. So yeah, where can people find you online?
I'm on Instagram as Odysee Recordings. I've got a Twitter feed that I occasionally say something on. We've got SoundCloud as well, and the thing with the SoundCloud is I usually put a bunch of mixes on there as well that are downloadable. I don't do them all the time, but you know, if people are interested in what I like and what I'm listening to and the kind of things that I think are good, they're not necessarily wall-to-wall dub plates. They tend to be the best of what I've been checking for the last 6 months.
Yeah,
and that might include stuff I've only just picked up that was 3-4 years old.
So yeah, we've got a lot of the fresh Odysee stuff in on our store, which is Unearthed Sounds. We've also got the Odysee Bandcamp, which you can hit up and have a look at. It's
So yeah, later on, check out the bundle. Everything that was in here today, apart from Andy's personal collection.
Yeah, sorry,
very sadly.
Those
Everything else will be in. Oh, and the regraded. We're going to put that in next week. Midland final credits. Everything else will be in the bundle. Buy any 2 or more, get 10% off, get entered into the competition to win this. Check us out on all the usual socials, Unearthed Sounds, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're there, we're all over it every single week. Until then, peace.
Big up.
Big up.
You are now listening to the sounds of
Unearthed.